Hello and welcome to our welding spacecast. Once again, all right, so we're working on blueprint reading section 2, page 58. All right, so object lines, let's talk about it. An object line is a line that only shows the visible details in a part. So ultimately, it shows only the edges of the part, okay? The object line is always solid. So if we look at the top, the front, and the side view, okay, we can only see the edge of what we're looking at directly on top of it, or directly in front of it, or directly on the side of it. Now, how are we going to kind of put this into a view that we can think of? Well, let's look at the top. What is the top looking like in front and side? If we take all of these into account, what is it? A T-joint, right? Now, if we look at this other one here, well, it looks like a T-joint, but if we look, it's not connected on the edges, okay? So we need to be very, very careful at what we're looking at, okay? So now it asks you, add the missing object lines, okay? So we're going to add the missing ones to the top and the front and the side here. Okie dokie. So it says, study these examples. Object lines are used only to show visible surfaces. The dashed line is called a hidden line. It's going to show me the edge of a part that's behind something. Okay, now this is what's really kind of complicated when we start looking at blueprints, is if I look at the top view, well, I just see two edges of a part, right? And from the front view, two edges of the part, right? But when I start to look at the side view, I realize that these are triangles. And I can see, okay, they're not on top of each other. There's a hidden line. So it shows me one is right behind the other. Okay, so hidden lines tell us what's behind this. Okay, so now we're looking at a what? Well, this looks like a lap joint, right? If I look at the front. Now, if I look at the side, it's going to show me, and it's in a relationship. The front and the side are in relationship to this edge here. Okay, and I'm looking at the side. Now, remember, the top, the front, and the side are just labels. Different blueprints will say this is the top and this is the side. It will always be referenced in the same way on the blueprint, but it might not be the way we think that the top or the side should be or the front should be, okay? And sometimes it gets kind of confusing with the nomenclature that we're using. So, because ultimately, like if I'm looking at this side, well, I would think this is the top. I'm looking from the top of it. So don't let the names confuse you. Look at what the part looks like, okay? All right, so this was the under part, right? This is my top, and this is the top piece that we're looking at, okay? Now, we need to be able to draw this top edge, and we need to make it in relationship here, okay? Now, let's look at this next one, okay? We see that this is in relationship with this, right? This edge is in relationship with this edge, but now we have to give this relationship and this relationship, okay? All right, so of course, hidden lines show details that are not visible. It's like I'm able to have X-ray vision to the other side. So if I look at the front view of this, I just see it's kind of like a little step, right? And if I look to the left, I can see the edge of this step here, okay? But if I look to the right, I can see a hidden line, which tells me, well, that hidden line is going to be this edge here. Okay, so it's going to tell me exactly what it looks like. So now, let's look at this. So here's my front view. What is my left side and what is my right side going to look like? Well, one side is going to have my object line and one side is going to have my hidden lines, okay? And remember, we want to keep them in relationship together, okay? Because we'll have a top, a front, and a side, but we have two sides, so we need to make sure that they stay in relationship with each other, okay? All right, now, add the missing hidden lines in the front view. Okay, same kind of thing, guys. Make sure that the left and the front have the same relationship, and then make sure that we put the weld on the side view, okay? Show them where the weld goes. Okie dokie. Now, we're talking about different uses of hidden lines, okay? So if we look, long, short, long, and long, short, long, tell me the center of a part. Long, short, long, long, short, long. Ultimately, long, short, long, center line. It also tells me not just the center of a part, but the center of a whole. Okay? So, if we look here, well, there's a hidden line here that's in relationship to this pipe, right? And then it looks like there's a hidden line inside the pipe as it extends. So it shows me the wall of the pipe and the outside edge of the pipe it goes through the part. Okay? Because when we turn it, we can see, oh, it's a plate that has a pipe in it. Okay? And now let's look at the weld. It's saying, okay, pointing here, the outside surface is a round surface that says 1/8 inch fillet weld, typical. Typical means if I find the same configuration, I'm going to do it everywhere. So all the way around here and all the way around here. So ultimately it would be all the way around here. Okie dokie. Now, draw the missing hidden lines. You also probably want to also include your center lines. Now, when we're doing hidden lines, and especially when we have a view like this, we can connect our center lines and our hidden lines if they work together. Okay, does that make sense? So we want to make sure that you have the hidden lines in the pipe. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is what we're talking about. Center to center. Long, short, long. It shows us the center of an arc or a curved surface or a circle. And sometimes it will even show us the center of a plate. Okay? So we can see center. But see how it has this relationship from the top and the front? It shows us that these line up and it gives us relationship to how things work. Okay? So it's showing us from here to here, that's the center of the whole. Okay? So put the missing center lines. So we're going to go from the top to the front. All right, guys, take care.